This one is going to be running in the Road Sport series, so you can see it's got the rear wing and it's got a front splitter. We're just getting that one off the trailer, obviously. This is the one I raced in last time, orange, and the other car's over there. I had great fun on Friday testing, and I tested in the orange car, number 41, which was the car we were to be racing in. My best time was 2:36.46, so it's not bad within our team, but if you look at some of the fastest drivers, I think the fastest lap on the day of the race was a 2:27. So you're looking. I don't know how you get down from 2:34 down to, 2:36 down to 2:27. It seems insurmountable, but obviously it can be done, and I'm determined to find out how to do it. Yeah, that was a great time. I think it was a lap record actually. We had no problems. It was a dry day. The car was running really well, such great fun. Looking back on it, I think there were a couple of corners that I found particularly challenging. Agostini's probably the most difficult because it's sort of like a hairpin, but it's very wide and you tend to go into it too fast, which means you run out too wide as you come out of the exit. And I struggled a bit with that. I was fast round the rest of certainly from that point on, ran Hamilton, Oggies, Williams, down the straight, through the S-bend there, Bruno, then Senna, and I was okay round the Coram curve. Then you get to Murray's, and although sometimes I got Murray's right and I would come out of there quite fast, other times I seemed to not quite get the entry right, and I was a bit slow coming out. Then crossed the start-finish straight and up to Rich's, which is years and years ago. I had a really big spin at Rich's, and it's one of the only corners that still survived from back then. And I found that, I don't know, it wasn't that daunting, and I think I could have been bolder, quite honestly. I think I was over-braking into it and shaving a bit of my time off of, shaving off a bit of my speed, which is a bit of a shame. But very successful day, really enjoyed it. I think we only had 15 minutes of time for qualification, and if you think that we had 3 drivers and we have to do 3 laps each, it doesn't give much time on a track that's, actually the qualification time must have been 20 minutes, but it was really tight. And so some of the teams negotiated to do an additional out-of-session qualification early on Sunday morning. I think it was about 9 o'clock, and I volunteered to do that. There are 2 disadvantages with out-of-session qualification. The first is that your time doesn't count in terms of position for the car on the grid. But I wasn't the fastest driver in our car, so Dan was the fastest, so we didn't think that would be an issue. And also, if you participate in out-of-session qualification, you can't be the starting driver. And I wasn't the starting driver, and I wasn't planned to be the starting driver, so that wasn't an issue. So no downside really for me. I did a 2:36.52, which is pretty consistent with my 2:36.46 in testing. So I was pretty happy with that, considering I only had 3 laps to do it. So all was good. Interesting the way all our cars are grouped together. So you see 40, 41, 42 and 43. They're all the 40-40 cars. Aside from David Pickup stuck there in the middle, you can see that we all were bunched together towards the back of the grid, unfortunately, but fairly consistent. In the race, Dan did a great job. He pulled us up from 26th to 13th, and he was really storming around the track. But he eventually got on the radio and told the race engineer that a red light had come up on the dashboard of the car. And the engineer said, "Is the car running okay?" And he said, "It seems to be." So he was told to just carry on. Then shortly after that, he said that the back of the car was sliding around and it felt very unstable. So they decided to keep him out for another couple of laps until the pit window opened for a driver change, and that we just bring the car in, change the driver and check the car to see what was wrong. So he did as he was told, brought the car in, and unfortunately what had happened is the car had dropped all its coolant on the track, and the reason his car was sliding around was because he was running over his own coolant. And basically they'd cooked the engine, and the mechanics tried to get the car started again, but it just wouldn't start. And so that was the end of our race, and Julian and I didn't even get a drive, which was just so gut-wrenching. I can't describe it. It was such a disappointment, particularly as I'd been waiting from 9 that morning until this was 5 o'clock in the evening this happened. And to be told I wasn't going to get a drive was very depressing. But anyway, aside from that, it was great fun, the driving I did do, and I certainly don't regret going. Just one of those things, as they say, that's motor racing. That's what everybody tells you. And that was certainly motor racing for me.